So it should come as no surprise that I like video game music. If you've seen any of my videos, you know I always have some sort of video game song in the background. And I like video games, so like obviously I'm gonna like video game music. But one thing I love is when a video game either reuses or samples an older song. And I've always thought about this, but like it just popped in my head yesterday because Nintendo Music, that's an app that exists. I bet you forgot about that. They added the new Super Mario Bros. DS soundtrack, and I was listening to it, and I started to notice something that I hadn't noticed before. Like I've known that it uses a lot of old music from like Mario Bros. 3 specifically. But the Ghost House kind of had Super Mario World vibes. I had to listen to the Super Mario World again, but it kind of reminded me of it. And I was just thinking about how cool it is that if it's true, how I'm still finding out these things. And it's always been kind of cool to me. Like New Super Mario Bros. Was the first, well, one of the first video games one of the first video games that I ever played. So I had no clue about Super Mario Bros. 3. So I didn't know that the boss theme was from that game. I didn't know that the tower theme was from that game. I was just, oh, this is just Mario Bros. On the DS. And then, years later, I went back to go play, uh, or I went and played Super Mario Bros. 3 for the first time, and I noticed that, oh, hey, these are the songs from New Super Mario Bros. They reused them in this way. And then, they did the same thing with New Super Mario Bros. Wii, where they reused um, the map boss. Well, not boss, but the map enemy music. And it's more than just Mario that does that. Like, I'm a big fan of Pokemon. You may know if you've seen my last video. I like Pokemon, and they do that a lot there too. They don't usually reuse music the way like Mario does, because each region has its own unique locations. However, there is times where they do sample other music. The Off the top of my head, they sampled Generation 3 Elite Four battle theme in the Gen 5 Elite Four battle theme. Um, a lot of songs you'll notice, a lot of battle themes will kind of remix the title theme. The biggest one off the top of my head being Red slash Lance, the champion battle theme from the Gen 2 is probably the most overt use of that. At least it was the first time it was ever used as a battle theme like that. And then you have music appearing outside of other games. For example, Pokemon Go. I don't know when they added it, but the first time I heard the night theme, you know how like during the day they have like the regular upbeat, like all real chimey Pokemon Go music. And then it kind of has like a slower, less energetic song during the night. That song sounded super familiar and I could not place it. I was like, it's definitely a Pokemon game, but I could not remember until I went back to play Pokemon Heart Gold. And I was like, oh, that's Route. I want to think it's 37, I could be wrong. Going back to the main games for Pokemon real quick. Another cool thing is whenever there's like an established song and it's in a new generation with a completely new style. So you can kind of see how each generation established itself, like music wise. For example, I'm just gonna think off the top of my head, the Global Terminal. This one only stayed around for, I think it was 2 generations. Gen 3, not Gen 3, Gen 4 and Gen 5. And in Gen 4, the music's kind of it's upbeat, but it's not like too fast. It kind of just feels like frolicking. And then in Gen 5, the music is at a glance, it is slightly, it sounds very different, but there are points and at times where you're like, oh yeah, that's 100% of the song. And then I was actually listening to it again not too long ago, a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh no, this is the same song. It's just in such a way where if you're not paying attention, it sounds like a different song. Actually, backtracking again even more, like remakes. Remakes are awesome because you get to hear the music even better. Like I think the very first video game I ever would have played would have been Super Mario Brothers Advance on my aunt's GBA SP, and I always found it weird that Super Mario Brothers 2 was highlighted before Mario Brothers, and it didn't even occur to me that it was because there was a game called Super Mario Brothers way before my time. I didn't realize that until I was playing the original Super Mario Brothers 2 on the NES Classic, and I was like, something about this seems very, very familiar, and I cannot place it. But yeah, you get to hear updated music, so for me, hearing the original version of the music was really cool. I completely forgot to mention that New Super Mario Brothers on the DS is, to my knowledge, the only Mario game to have the complete original soundtrack on it. Or not original, the complete soundtrack of the original game on it. It's gonna be, you know, the original ground theme. Plays in the bonus rooms. The underground. You know, it has its own remix, but it has a more faithful remix in the mini games. Same thing with the underwater theme. And the castle theme. In both the Loves Me minigame and the Bob-omb Panic, is that what it was called? It's the one where you drag around the bomb from the mechanical Bowser that breathes fire and the lava bubbles, as well as the star theme. You know, it's the wing cap theme, but it still counts. And the level complete. And the Peach's Rescue theme. But this one always kind of stuck with me. Ecruteak City in Pokemon Gold, Silver, Crystal. In the original Gen 2 games, it shared music with Cyanwood City. And in the remakes, it does. I mean, it still kind of shares the same melody. But they're composed. No, I don't know if "compose" is the right word, but they're done in a way where it sounds completely different. Like the intro does a lot of heavy lifting because it's a lot more, I guess, traditional. I'm just rambling at this point, but like specifically with these two games, when I was listening to the soundtrack side to side, there was a lot of music that at first I was like, oh, they just did completely new pieces. But the more I listened to it, the more I was able to piece together that these are the same songs. Just the way they're played just kind of makes them sound completely different. Like New Barktown, Ecruteak City. What else was there? Goldenrod City too. That one. Like it's still the same song. It's just it has a completely different, not completely different, but it sounds different enough where at a glance you don't even recognize it. I'm just rambling at this point. You can click off the video now.